What's up, everyone? I'm Chelsea. This is Bronx. And today I'm just going to make a video over some basic stuff that I think every dog should know, whether it's a service dog. Obviously, a service dog is highly trained. Whether it's a service dog, a pet dog, your mom's dog, your aunt's dog, any dog. Train all dogs. So we're going to go over a few commands that I think are important for any and every dog to know as they're going through training. So here we go. Okay, so first things first, when you are training a dog, you are going to want to find out what motivates a dog. For Bronx in particular, it's food. So I've got my food pouch here. And I've got his kibble in it. I don't feed him treats just because he's got some gastrointestinal issues and he's really protein sensitive. So instead of feeding him his feeding of food for the day, I'll maybe give him half of his food and then put the other half of his food in the pouch and train him with it. Some dogs respond to toys. And some dogs respond to praise. Sometimes you just got to play around with it and see what your dog likes. Forewarning, if you're anything like me, you are going to watch this video and be like, oh my God, I have to go get a food pouch because she's got a food pouch. Or oh my God, I have to go get a clicker because she has a clicker and her dog likes it. No, you can put food in your pocket, save your money. You can put some food in your pocket. And if you don't want to go get a clicker, this thing costs like $1 at PetSmart. But if you don't want to go get one, honestly, the word yes works just as well as any clicker. But the first thing that I like to teach a dog really is to make eye contact. So whatever word you would like to use for that, I use the word focus. I know some people just use the dog's name and they'll say the dog's name and the dog will look at them. So for this, what we'll do is Bronx knows this already. So Moody, stand. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to have him sit first. Moody, sit. Good. And I'm going to say focus. Yes. And as soon as he looks at me, I'm going to click and treat. Good boy. And he's advanced, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to throw some food off free. So he'll walk off and get it, distract him. He'll walk back. I'm going to do the same thing. Bronx here. Sit, focus. Yes. Good boy. Treat. Very nice. Throw the food off. Now only throw it off if your dog is advanced. If you're having troubles with your dog, you can just sit and do the focus drill without throwing the food because he knows what I want him to do already. So one more time. Moody, stand. Heel. Back up. Back up. Good boy, sit. Focus. Yes. Good boy. That's it. Moody, stand. Okay, I'm going to give you an example of another way to get your dog to do your focus command. If your dog is not food motivated. So if your dog is toy driven, he's not toy driven at all, but you're going to get the dog's toy that really gets his attention. So if it's a squeaky toy, whatever toy that you know is going to get your dog ready to do anything for you. Like I said, he's not at all toy motivated, but we're going to pretend that he's, salivating over this tennis ball. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have him sit. Good boy, focus. Yes, and then I'm going to throw it off and let him go chase it. If it's a tug toy, I'm going to say yes as soon as he make contact and let him play with it and take it back and then make him sit, focus again, throw the toy down. So it's a game to them. All right, now that we've got your dog focusing on you, paying attention to you, the next thing that we're going to move into is teaching your dog a sit command. So what I like to do for a sit command is if your dog is food motivated, which we'll go through first, is you're going to get your food or your treats or whatever you use, and you're going to lure your dog into a sit. I'm going to have him stand because remember, he knows this already. Somebody stand. Good boy. And how I do this is I'm going to pull this up right over his head and wait for his butt to hit the ground. As soon as his butt hit the ground, I click and I treat. Okay, sometimes depending on how excited your dog is or how far away the food or the treat or the toy is away from your dog's face, sometimes these paws will come off the ground and you'll see your dog hop up. If that happens, which it happens quite a bit, what you're going to do is ignore that and you're gonna start to push the food into your dog's face, all right? So you're wanting to make sure that the dog's butt remains on the ground and those paws remain on the ground, okay? So stand. Again, we're gonna pull it up over the face. As soon as the butt's on the ground, click treat. Again, if you get to a point where that puppy's paws is coming up off the ground like this, what you're gonna do is you're gonna push the treat down in the face. Yes, good boy. And after you get that a few repetitions, then we'll add the word into it. Somebody stand. Good boy, sit. Yes, good boy. His paws came off the ground a little bit. Would he stand? Good, sit. Yes, just like that, okay? If your dog is toy driven, what you're gonna do is you're gonna get your toy and you're gonna really get your dog excited to play with this toy. You're gonna sit, you're gonna pull the toy right up over the dog's head and wait for it to sit. Same thing with the toy. If the puppy's paws are popping up off the ground, you're gonna push the toy into the dog's face. Another thing that we do sometimes is if the dog is having a hard time, you're having a hard time getting it to put its butt down, woody front. What we do is you lower it, you put the treat over its head, and you gently push that butt down. There you go, good boy. And that's for a dog that's not wanting to put its butt down on the floor, okay? So again, from this angle, this looks like a stand. Good boy, sit. You apply pressure. As soon as that butt's on the ground, you click and treat. Good boy. Very nice. All right, now that you taught your dog your focus and its sit, we're gonna move into a down. Down can be kind of controversial. Some trainers refuse to teach a dog to go into a down position from a sit. I personally don't see what the big deal is, but I will teach it both ways, just in case. This is also down, I like to call the waiting game, because if you have a really wiggly puppy or very stubborn puppy, it can take a little while for the puppy to kind of get the idea of what you're asking it to do. So for a down, I'm gonna start off with teaching it from a sit position. What I do is I'll get food or something very high value. I've not tried this really with toys, so I would get something like table food, you know, like a raw meat, deli meat, something like that. And what I do is I put it flat in my hand like this, and I put my hand over it. And I lower the dog right into a down position. As soon as you see the dog's chest hit the ground and those elbows on the ground, where the dog is in a real down and not in one of those I'm getting down there. When your dog is in a complete down, you're gonna click and treat. Moody, sit. Very good. So again, I'm using his kibble, like I said, but feel free to use deli meat. Sometimes you gotta play around with it because you really gotta get your dog motivated to do it. Thank you. Hand flat, and all I'm gonna do is cover it up. Yes, there you go. Okay, once your dog gets the idea of what you want them to do, then you can pair the word with it. So Moochie, sit. Good. So from here, obviously, he knows what he's doing already. Down. Yes, good boy. With that, yeah, just be patient, because sometimes dogs can get really confused. Sometimes dogs are frustrated. Don't worry. The dog being frustrated is actually a really good thing, because the dog is really trying to figure out what you're asking it to do or what needs to be done. So allow your dog to be frustrated and guide them. If you can guide them any type of way you can, allow them to go through that frustration to get to what you're asking them to do, okay? So now we're gonna teach this from, a standing position. Would he stand? Good boy. And it's basically the same thing. I'm gonna have the food flat in my hand, and I'm gonna put my hand right, I'm gonna cover it. Yes, okay? He likes to bow sometimes. So as soon as back legs are all the way on the ground, butt's on the ground, elbows are down, click and treat, okay? Stand, I'll do it one more time. Stand, good boy. Hand flat, all the way down. Yes, okay? I said down there, but he likes to do it, he literally will do a bow sometimes, so that's me. But when your dog is doing it, when offering you the behavior consistently, then you can add the word to it. I personally don't like to get the dog say down the first few times you do it, because the dog doesn't really understand what you're asking it to do. So get it to do it a few times before it associates it with any command, whether it's a sit, get the dog to do it a few times, and then pair the word sit with it. Get the dog to do it down a few times without saying it, and then pair the word with it. And then, thank you. And then, the dog can associate the two things a little bit better. Stay. Okay, the next command we're gonna go over is a stay. Depending on how trained your dog is or isn't, I would grab a leash because it makes life a whole lot easier. So just for demonstration, I'm gonna grab a leash and go ahead and hook Bronx up to this and show you how I would teach a new dog the stay command, okay? So I've got this hooked up on him. Would he stand? Good boy. I like to teach a stay from a down position. So we put the dog in a down just because the dog is going to be less likely to get up from a down than it would be from a sit or a stay. So what I like to do is down. And for a stay, I will put my hand in his face, stay, take a couple of steps. Yes! Good job. I'm not kidding. Even if you take one step away from your dog and it does not move, it is a great thing that you're going to do. And I just realized that I don't have my clicker. Where did I put it? Okay, well this goes back to I told you don't need a clicker. As long as you can say yes or mark the behavior you're looking for, you're fine. Okay, so we're gonna pretend, I'm gonna run through this a couple times with you, okay? So the dog's here, you put it in down, hand in his face, open palm, stay. Take a step, step back. Yes, good job, that's it. That's a good puppy. Very nice, okay? When you get comfortable or you can take a step away and you're comfortable knowing that your dog is not gonna move, what do you think is next? Yes, you're gonna take 2 steps away. This can be a very slow process, so don't expect to walk clearly away from your dog and walk back and your dog not budge. This is a gradual process. A good stay can take a long time to develop depending on your dog's drive, your dog's distraction, your dog's impulse control, all of that. So here we go. We're just gonna pretend here, Moody, stay. 1, 2, yes! Good job! Very nice. All right, now guess what? Every dog is not Bronx. Every dog is not gonna sit here and let me take 1 step away. So let's pretend that I did a stay and he breaks it. What do we do? This is how we are going to troubleshoot for that, all right? So if I tell him stay and he happens to get up, Moody here, come here. Yes, okay. Oh, I'm not supposed to say yes, look at me. I messed him up. Okay, anyway, come here. Good boy. My bad. I make mistakes too. Down. Good boy. Stay. Pretend he gets up, okay? He gets up, I'm going to say no. And I'm going to put him right back in a down stay, okay? Stay. Take a step away. Yes, good job, okay? You got to baby step your way back into this. So if I got comfortable taking 1 step away from my dog and then he decided to get up when I took 2 steps away, I'm going to correct it. As soon as the dog gets up, I say no, put the dog right back in the down, stay, take 1 step away, come back. Yes, good job. So the dog is understanding, oh, you don't want me to move. Remember, when you're teaching a dog new things, the dog doesn't understand what you want it to do yet. Dogs don't generalize very well. So just because you told it to stay when you took a step away, it doesn't know that you still want it to stay when you take 2 or 3 steps, right? So you want your dog to build up its knowledge of understanding that stay means stay, whether you, the human, the handler, take 1 step or 5 steps or 50 steps away, okay? So we got to build your dog up to that. So again, you're going to put your dog in a down, push your hand in its face, stay, take 1 step back, yes, treat, okay? Or click if you got your clicker, good job. Your dog gets comfortable with that, stay, 2 steps, yes, good job. What happens when your dog gets up? Immediately you say no. Put the dog back where it belongs, down, stay. and work your way back. 1 step. Yes, good job. 2 steps. Yes, good job. 3 steps. Yes, good job. Okay? So it's a very slow process. I'm sorry, it's annoying. There's no really getting around the annoyance. So honestly, dog training is repetition, and repetition is very annoying. So yeah, I can't change that. Okay, we've made it to the end. This is our last bit. The last bit that I'm going to teach you to run through with your dog is a recall. A recall is when your dog is away from you and you call them to you, whether your dog is off doing something else and you call it back, or you have your dog in a stay and you call it to you. For obvious reasons, having your dog in a stay and calling it is much easier than your dog being distracted and sniffing stuff from running after something and doing a recall. So recalls are also another command that you have to work your way into, just like a stay. It's not something that's going to happen, first day. You add distractions, you add distance, so you have to be able to work with your dog to help it understand these things. And remember, be ready to see your dog frustrated and be prepared to be frustrated yourself, and that's okay. Remember, you got to work through that, and if you get too frustrated, just call it quits. Always end training on a good note because you want it to be fun for your dog, but there's nothing wrong with saying, I've had enough of this right now. I'll walk away and we can reconvene later when I feel better, and this will be fun for me and my dog, because training should be fun. It's a bonding time for you and a dog, whether it's your dog, your aunt's dog, your daddy's dog, the dog's dog, all of that. So I'm gonna go over recall from a stay position, because it's dark outside and the apartment's not very big, so I'm gonna show you what that looks like. Come on, big boy. Come on, big boy. Oh yeah, for this, you're gonna want a leash on your dog too. Okay, here we go. Come on, buddy. Very good boy. All right, for this, I am going to put him in a stay personally. You can put your dog in a down if you wish, whatever is more comfortable, whatever your dog is more likely to stay in. Okay, buddy, heel. Yes, sit. Very good. Stay, okay? We got the stay down packed, right? So what we're gonna do is you're gonna walk away from your dog, and whatever word you use, it can be come, it can be here, it can be the dog's name. I say his name and I say here. Sometimes I just say here. Sometimes I just say his name, He's smart, he can figure it out, okay? Ready? So what you're gonna do is you're going to say whatever you say. So I'm gonna say Bronx here. Yes! Good boy. Very nice. I like it. You're awesome. You're the best. Stay. Okay. Bronx here. Yes! Good boy. That's it. That's it. Very nice. Good. Stay. Bronx here. Yes! Good job. Very good. Again, you can do this with toys. Whatever gets your dog motivated to work for you. He works best off of food. Stay. Bronx here. Yes! Good job. Okay, so if you can't tell, for this what I'm doing is I'm calling him, saying Bronx here, just Bronx. And as soon as he gets up and I know he's walking towards me, I'm going to, if I had my clicker, I would click and say yes, but I can't find my clicker. So I'm just gonna say, yes, good job. And he gets food. And what happens with that? Then he gets excited to come towards me, come to me, because he knows that I have food for him. All right, so we're building the association to when I call you, you're gonna come here, you're gonna get something good. So you're gonna want to come to me. And again, this is the building block of a recall, because a good recall, your dog can be chasing a rabbit and you can call it and it will stop chasing that rabbit and it will come right back to you, okay? But it starts just like this. There's nothing going on in the house. Clearly, he is bored out of his mind, okay? This is how it starts, all right? You got to build it here. Make him want, or him or her, make your dog want to come to you. Make your dog want to engage with you. Make it fun for your dog, right? So again, I'm just gonna leave his leash on the floor because it's doing its own thing. He's still in this weird down position. Bronx, here. Yes! Good boy. Good, that's it. All right. This is a side note, and this is completely optional. Excuse me. When I call him to me, I expect him to sit just because that's the way I know he's more so focused on me. Some people just call their dog to them and their dog can come around them. I like him to sit. A lot of the times if we're outside in the field and I call him, he will heel. I don't even have to ask him to do it. If I call him to me, whether he's chasing something, I'm not kidding. He chases birds out there all the time. I call him, he's going to run back over to me. He's going to heel. On my left side, he's gonna sit and he's gonna look at me, okay? You can do that with your dog if you want, or if a recall to you just means come back to me. That doesn't mean you have to sit in front of me. For me, that's what that means. I like to know that he's paying attention to me, you know, not just listening to me. He wants to know what I'm going to ask him to do next, right? So again, toys, you can do the same thing. Grab your dog's toy. I'm gonna grab this tennis ball. Good. Dog, get the dog excited to play with this toy. Let's pretend this is a tug rope just for fun, okay? Ron's here. Yes, good job. Throw the tug, throw the ball, whatever. He went to get the ball. No, he didn't. He went to get water. Okay, but you get the idea, okay? Biggest takeaway from this is always remember, you want dog training to be fun because you want the dog to work with you. That does not mean that you cannot correct your dog. I am a firm believer in correcting the dog if it does something that it should not be doing. However, you do want your dog to develop the motivation to be working with you, okay? So you don't want to work your dog too hard. You don't want to be too soft on your dog. There's a good, middle ground that works for you and the dog, just the dog. If you're not training it, you got to find it though, okay? So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to start doing more training videos, a lot more obedience stuff. I'll probably do some trick training stuff, service dog stuff, task videos and stuff like that. So that's that. He's lapping water, so I'm sorry if it sounds disgusting. But we're going to get out of here. Yeah. Don't forget to like and subscribe, please. I'm really going to get on to posting more, giving more content, better content. I just got a new laptop so I can edit videos and they're going to be awesome. So, yeah, please help us out over here because we are trying to get back in the business of getting my life together. Okay, anyway, I always want you guys to remember, you can't see him, but we're imperfect and we like it. See you guys.